Welcome back to the second session of comparative literature. Expanding literary horizons, each new language opens doors to entire literary traditions, allowing you to explore works that may be understudied or misrepresented in translation. Cognitive benefits: language learning enhances cognitive flexibility and analytical thinking, complementing the critical skills developed through literary analysis. The slide continues to build the case for language learning. It states that each new language opens doors to entire literary traditions, allowing you to explore works that might be understudied or misrepresented in translation. This empowers you to contribute new language to contribute new to contribute new knowledge. Furthermore, it highlights the cognitive benefits. Language learning itself enhances cognitive flexibility and analytical thinking, which directly complements and strengthen the critical skills you've developed and you're developing in your literary analysis classes. If you are already multilingual, comparative literature offers a unique opportunity to make your linguistic diversity and academic strength. If you're primarily English speaking, do not worry. Many departments offer language intensive options and courses in English translation while you develop additional language skills. This slide is designed to be inclusive and encouraging. It speaks directly to two groups of students. For those who are already multilingual, it frames their skills as an academic strength to be leveraged. For those who are primarily English speaking, it offers reassurance. Don't worry. It explains that departments offer support, including the study of literature and translation, while you develop additional language skills. The message is not that everyone can enter and succeed in the field. First year course overview. Your introduction to comparative literature begins with carefully designed courses that establish uh, foundational knowledge while developing essential analytical skills. These courses balance theoretical concepts with engaging texts from diverse traditions. We now move from the why to what you will actually study. This slide provides an overview of the first year curriculum. It emphasizes that these initial courses are carefully designed to achieve two parallel goals: to establish foundational knowledge about the field and to develop the essential analytical skills required to succeed in it. The approach is balanced, combining theoretical concepts with engaging texts from diverse traditions. Introductory survey courses. Read the World Abroad: Introduction to Global Literary Traditions Across and Through Representative Texts. Introduction to Comparative Literature explores key concepts and methodologies through case studies, examines how texts travel and literature across borders, transform across cultural contexts. So this slide lists examples of typical introductory survey courses. Read the board is exactly what it sounds like: a broad, sweeping introduction to global literary traditions, introduction to comparative literature, would focus more on the key concepts and methodologies of the field itself. Literature across borders is a more specific course that examines the fascinating life and of texts as they are translated, adapted, and transformed across different cultures, contexts. Uh, Intensive seminars writing focuses on developing analytical writing, global literature, writing skills through close reading. Teaches advanced techniques for literary argumentation, constructing compelling literary arguments, texts in cultural contexts, examines how historical and social factors shape literary works. So this slide outlines the second type of first year course, the intensive seminars. These are smaller focused classes designed to hone specific skills. Writing global literature would focus on the crucial skill of analytical writing through close reading. Literary argumentation teaches you how to contrast and how to construct sophisticated, compelling arguments about texts and cultural contexts deepen the skill of contextualization, examining how historical and the social factors directly shape literary works. First year course overview. Most departments offer smaller seminar style course specifically for first year students, creating an intimate learning environment where you can engage deeply in with texts and develop close relationships with faculty. These seminars often feature discussion-based learning rather than lectures, encouraging active participation from the beginning of your studies. So this slide describe the learning environment of these first year seminars. It highlights that they are typically smaller seminar style courses while creates an intimate learning environment. This is crucial because it allows you to engage deeply with text and just as importantly, develop close relationships with faculty. The pedagogy and the discussion based, not lecture based, which encourages active participation from the very beginning of your studies. First year courses typically do not require previous knowledge of literary theory of foreign languages, making them accessible in entry points to the discipline. They are designed to build foundational skills gradually while introducing you to the exciting possibilities of comparative approaches. This is a very important reassuring slide for prospective students. It explicitly states that first year courses typically do not require previous knowledge of literary theory and foreign languages. This makes them accessible entry points into the discipline. Their design is to build foundational skills gradually while simultaneously introducing you to the exciting possibilities of the comparative approach. The barrier to entry is purposefully low. Engage, debate, discover. In comparative literature seminars, every voice contributes to our understanding of texts. The seminar table is where transformation happens, where texts from distant times and places come alive through passionate discussion, challenging assumptions and opening new perspectives. Professor James DeLow, Comparative Literature Department. This slide aims to capture the vibrant culture of a comparative literature classroom. It states that every voice contributes, emphasizing the collaborative nature of knowledge building. The quote from Professor James Liu poetically describes the seminar table as a place of transformation where texts from different times and places come alone through passionate discussion. The outcome of this process of this process is that it challenges assumptions and opens new perspectives. It changes how you think. Now let's move to chapter 3, core themes and methods. Core themes and methods. Another transitional slide, we are now moving into the heart of the discipline's methodology. Chapter 3 will unpack the specific tools, themes, and methods you will use as a student of comparative literature. The analytical toolkit. Comparative literature offers a sophisticated set of theoretical frameworks and methodological approaches for analyzing texts across culture, cultural and linguistic boundaries. These tools will form the foundation of your studies, enabling you to engage deeply with complexity works and their contexts. This slide introduces the concept of an analytical toolkit. This is a powerful metaphor. You are not just learning information, you are acquiring a set of tools. These tools are theoretical frameworks and methodological approaches specifically designed for analyzing works across cultural and linguistic boundaries. This toolkit will form the foundation of your studies and enable you to engage with complex literary works and their contexts in a deep and meaningful way. While the specific theories and the methods you'll encounter vary across courses and institutions, certain core themes and approaches define the discipline. These analytical frameworks not only help you to interpret individual texts, but also allow you to understand the complex relationships between literary works and their cultural, historical, and linguistic contexts. This slide acknowledges that the specific theories may vary by course and institution, but that certain core theme and approaches define the discipline. It explains the dual function of these analytical frameworks. They not only help you interpret individual texts, but more importantly, they allow you to understand the complex relationships between literary works and their wider cultural, historical, and linguistic contexts. The focus is on connection and relationship. As you progress through your first year, you will gradually build a versatile, versatile analytical toolkit that combines close textual analysis with broader uh, theoretical perspectives. This balanced approach ensures that your interpretations remain grounded in textual evidence while benefiting from sophisticated conceptual frameworks. So this slide describes the composition of the toolkit. It's a versatile combination of two approaches: close textual analysis, paying extreme attention to the language form and structure of the text itself, and broader theoretical perspectives using ideas from feminism, post-colonialism, etc., to ask bigger questions. The balanced approach ensures your interpretations are always grounded in textual evidence but are also enriched by sophisticated conceptual frameworks. Key themes explored. Comparative literature engages with a distinctive set of themes that reflect its cross cultural interdisciplinary nature. These themes serve as conceptual lenses through which you will examine diverse texts, revealing their connections to broader intellectual and artistic traditions. While these themes provide valuable frameworks for analysis, you're not rigid categories, but rather uh, fluid concepts that often overlap and intersect. This slide introduces the key thematic lenses you will use. It describes these themes as conceptual lenses, um, different glasses you can put on to view a text in a new light. These themes reflect the field's cross-cultural, interdisciplinary nature. Importantly, it notes that these are not rigid categories, but fluid concepts, concepts that often overlap and intersect. This means you will often combine them in your analysis. As you progress in your studies, you will develop a nuanced understanding of how these themes manifest across different cultural contexts and the historical periods. A brief but important slide that emphasizes the development of new answers and as you progress, you won't just learn definitions of these themes, you will develop a nuanced understanding of how they manifest across different cultural contexts and historical periods. You will learn, for example, how identity is explored differently in a post-colonial African novel versus a 19th century Russian novel. Uh, Translation studies examine how texts transform when moved between languages, the ethical and political dimensions of translation practices, and the role of translators as cultural mediators. Example course Lost and Found in Translation Theory and Practice. This slide details the first key theme, translation studies. This goes far beyond just comparing an original to a translation. It involves examining how texts transform between languages, which includes the ethical and the political dimensions of translation. For example, how power dynamics influence what gets translated and how. It also views the translators as a cultural mediator. The example course, Lost and Found in Translation, suggests a practical and theoretical approach. Literary theory. Explore theoretical frameworks like post-colonialism, feminism, Marxism, and structuralism that provide tools for analyzing texts across cultural contexts. Example course, global literary theory approaches and applications. So, this slide covers the heavyweight theme of literary theory. These are the framework that provide the tools for analyzing texts across cultural contexts. It lists examples like post-colonialism, examining the legacy of colonialism, feminism, exploring gender and power, Marxism, analyzing class and economic structures, and structuralism, studying underlying patterns. The course Global Literary Theory implies applying these tools to worldwide set of texts. Intermediality. Investigate intersections between literature and other media forms, including film, performance, digital platforms, and visual arts. Example course, text and image literature beyond the page. So this slide explains the theme of intermediality, which is the study of connections between different media. It involves investigating the intersections between literature and other media forms like film, performance, digital platforms, and visual art. This is where you study adaptations, but also how stories are told differently across media. The course text and image is a classic example looking at the relationship between words and pictures. Methods of study. Comparative literature employs distinctive methodological approaches that allow for meaningful analysis across linguistic and cultural boundaries. These methods combine rigorous textual analysis with broader contextual awareness, enabling you to develop sophisticated interpretations of diverse literary works. So, this slide transitions from broad themes to specific methods. It states that the field employs distinctive methodological approaches that enable meaningful analysis across boundaries. These methods combine rigorous textual analysis, looking closely at the text, with broader contextual awareness. Understanding its world. The outcome is the ability to develop sophisticated interpretations of diverse literary works. Close reading and textual analysis. Learn to examine literary texts with careful attention to language form, structure, and style, identifying patterns, ambiguities, and tensions within the work. This foundational skill is enhanced in comparative literature by awareness of linguistic and cultural specificity. Analyze how world choice, syntax, and literary devices create meaning. Consider how formal elements reflect cultural contexts. Recognize the challenge of analyzing texts in translation. So this slide defines the foundational method of close reading. This means examining a text with a careful attention to language form, structure, and style. In comparative literature, the skill is enhanced by an awareness of linguistic and cultural specificity. The bullet points give concrete tasks, analyzing word choice and syntax, considering how form reflects culture, and crucially recognizing the challenges of analyzing texts and translation. Always be being aware of the filter you might be reading through. Comparative approaches develop methodologies for meaningful comparison across languages, cultures, and media forms, moving beyond the superficial similarities to understand complex relationships between texts. Thematic comparison, examining how different works address similar themes. Formal comparison, analyzing structural and stylistic similarities and differences. Historical comparison, considering how texts respond to shared historical moments. So this slide is the core of the methodological toolkit. It explains how to actually do comparison well. Moving beyond superficial similarities, it breaks this down into three types. Thematic comparisons, for example, comparing the theme of love into different novels. Formal comparison, for example, comparing the narrative structure of a poem and song. And the historical comparison, comparing how texts from different places responded to the Industrial Revolution. Interdisciplinary research, integrate methodologies from adjacent disciplines like history, philosophy, anthropology, and media studies to develop more comprehensive textual interpretations, historical contextualization of literary works, application of cultural theory to textual analysis, examining and examination of literature's relationship to other art forms. So this slide outlined the methods of interdisciplinary research. This is the practice of integrating tools from other fields like history, philosophy, and anthropology into your literary analysis. The examples given are using historical contextualization to better understand a text, applying cultural theory to analyze it, and examining literature's relationship to other art forms like painting or film. These methods creates more comprehensive textual interpretations. Methods of study. These methodological approaches aren't applied in isolation, but work together to create multi-dimensional interpretations. As you progress in your studies, you learn to move fluidly between these different analytical moods, selecting the approaches most appropriate for specific texts and research questions. So this important slide explains that these methods are not used in isolation. They work together to create a multi-dimensional interpretations. As you advance, you will learn to move fluidly between these analytical moods, selecting the approaches most appropriate for the specific text and your specific research question. This highlights the intellectual flexibility and the critical thinking the discipline cultivates. Thank you so much for watching me teaching you this wonderful comparative literature subject, and we will finish this subject in the coming last session. Thank you so much. Until next time, ta-ta for now.